Welcome to Berry Life. On today's episode, we're going to be making an ooey gooey chewy chocolate chip and peanut butter cookies. There's a famous bakery in New York called Levain's that makes these amazing cookies, and this is our version on their recipe. As we are an eggless household, thanks to the miracle of modern baking, this is going to be an eggless recipe. And also it can very easily be a vegan recipe by replacing a couple of ingredients with easily available vegan alternatives. For this recipe, we'll need all-purpose flour, 1 cup of cake flour. If you're not familiar with cake flour, we got you covered later in the video. Some Dutch cocoa powder, which is less bitter than natural cocoa. 1.5 cups of white sugar. Some baking soda for leavening. A little bit of cornstarch, some salt. We're going to use an egg replacer called Energy, and we're going to use 2 eggs equivalent. If you prefer, you can go ahead and use regular eggs. We'll also need 1 cup of unsalted butter. You can also use vegan butter. And we're going to need about 3 cups of peanut butter chips. This company uses whey from milk, but feel free to use vegan peanut butter chips. They're much more readily available now. If you're new to this channel, glad you could join us. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join our community of foodies. Be sure to turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon, as we'll be posting recipes every week, so you don't want to miss out. As promised, we got you covered on how to make cake flour. Take 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Go ahead and sift the flour to eliminate any lumps. Then remove 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour from that 1 cup. Replace the 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Again, it's important not to compact. The ratio is 7 parts all-purpose flour to 1 part cornstarch. Mix the all-purpose flour with the cornstarch, and there you have it, cake flour. Before we start making the cookies, let's preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 175 Celsius. To mix these cookies, we're going to use a flat beater attachment, also known as that pretzel-looking thingy. Then we'll add the butter. Our butter is a little bit cold, so we're going to need to whip it to soften before adding the sugar. Once the butter is soft, go ahead and add the sugar. At this point, we'll also add the egg replacer, or the eggs if that's what you're using, and combine until all the sugar has mixed into the butter, until you get something that looks like buttercream or frosting. There, that looks right. We'll go ahead and scrape the sides, and then add the dry ingredients. We'll add the all-purpose flour, the cake flour, the cocoa powder, cornstarch, salt, and baking soda. Typically you want to combine all the dry ingredients first to have an evenly mixed dough. We've tried this recipe both ways, and it doesn't seem to make a difference. The cookies turn out amazing either way. When the dough comes clean off the sides and looks to be evenly combined, we can add the peanut butter chips. But of course, before that, we want to give it one more scrape. After adding the peanut butter chips, you don't need to mix for long, maybe about 15 seconds on low. The goal is just to press the chips into the dough. You can do this by hand as well, but why? Go ahead and save that arm strength to pick up the cookies to eat when they're done. You'll need it. With the dough ready, we can actually just use a spoon and go nuts. Just kidding. We're going to use an ice cream scoop and portion out the individual cookies. With this, we'll get about 16 to 20 cookies. You can drop the cookies directly onto the baking sheet for a more rustic look, or shape them a little bit so they're smoother. What do you call a baking sheet full of cookies? Dinner. Again, just kidding, but not really. With the oven at target temperature, the cookies can go in. We're going to bake for about 12 to 15 minutes. Maybe closer to 12 minutes. You don't want the cookies to be too done in the oven, because after you take them out, they'll continue to dry and they'll become too hard. There, about 12 minutes later, the cookies are done. They look so good, even our gator mitt wants a bite. The whole house smells of chocolate and warm peanut butter. We're going to let these cookies cool for about 2 to 3 minutes on the baking sheet so they can firm up a little bit before we transfer. Once they're cool enough, we can transfer them to a wire rack. You can see the cookies are still soft, which is good. As they cool, they'll firm up a little bit more. With all the cookies on the wire rack, we'll let them cool for about 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, the cookies are ready. The bottom of the cookie is just perfectly crunchy while the top is still soft and chewy. And we can hold the cookies without them crumbling on us. Let's dig in. Time to test that arm strength. Just take a look at the inside. Oh, that is some ooey gooey chewy right there. And if you're thinking to yourself, there's more peanut butter than chocolate, we won't argue. Now to get a workout with some cookie crunches. There you have it, chocolate peanut butter cookies. This is such an easy and simple recipe, you've got to try it. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button and let us know in the comments below. Also, if you haven't done so, subscribe to help support this channel and hit that bell icon so you're notified of future uploads. We'll be posting recipes every week. If you try this recipe, please tag us on Instagram at BerryBerryLife. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you and enjoy!